Hello everyone, this is Rumbo here, welcome back, and today is episode 1 on the HermitCraft server. It's good to see you all here. The response to episode 0 was absolutely fantastic. You guys really seem to love the fact that I'm on the HermitCraft server, and you know what, I'm pretty pleased about it myself. So in between that episode and this one, I have done a bunch of work. Me and Azuma Void stayed up fairly late last night trying to work out the spawn area. So we've been trying to find a cool way to have a nice focal point for the middle of the town centre where everyone can gather, like a bit of a plaza or something like that. So we got to work. We cleared out this entire area. We've got a sort of gradual bowl. I guess we could call it Biffa's Bowl version 2.0. Now, in the middle here, we're going to have the mismatch of blocks. So we're going to have stone brick, gravel, and, you know, other ones like that. And then hopefully in the center, we'll have some form of focal point. So a fountain or something, you know, special that people can look on and be like, wow, that's cool. So that is the plan. That is what we want to do. And hopefully I'll do a little bit of work on that in today's episode. Now, a couple other structures have gone up. Hopefully people don't mind me showing these. But over here we have Jassassin's place. I think it's just a little farming area that he's set up over here. So yeah, we got a couple of melons, pumpkins, some potatoes, carrots and wheat, which is very helpful because we have been having some serious issues with food on this server. So that should sort things out. Now here we have got Spoon's almighty palace. This is looking like it's going to be absolutely huge. I think he's got a couple of chairs in here. I don't know if this is going to be a church or something like that, but it's looking really good. It will be good to have a grand structure in the spawn area because, like I said, it's all looking a little bit temporary. And then also we have Azuma Void's house there, which is looking very nice, making use of the new features in the snapshot, which is really good to see. Now, I just want to point out that I am still a little bit ill. You may be able to hear that. My voice is sounding very strained. I've got a sort of raw sore throat, which is just really painful. But hopefully it's not affecting you too much and you can still enjoy the video because I am really going to enjoy recording this episode. So the first thing that we're going to have to do in today's episode is clear out this middle area here so we have enough room to place down the blocks. So I'm going to crack on with that, just displace all of this dirt ready for the new flooring that we're going to be putting in. So I'll crack on with that and then I'll catch you in a bit. So the central area has been for the best part cleared out. It didn't take that long, but I did break my only shovel. You can see my efficiency one is now down to 1 usage, which is a bit of a shame. However, it is all clear. It is ready for the flooring, so that is all good. Like I said earlier, I'm probably be going for the stone brick, the cobble and the gravel all put together, so then it looks kind of cracked and worn. Now that may not sound that good. I'm sure some of you are like, why would you want a cracked and worn area? Surely that's not a good thing. But I don't know, it looks overgrown, it looks like it's been used, and it generally gives a really nice effect. Now I have spoken to some of the other hermits about this, especially Azuma, because me and him were working on this last night, and they've all said that it sounds like a good idea, so I'm just going to get to work and place down all of these blocks and we'll see what it looks like once it's done. And there we have it. We've got all of the mismatch blocks in there. We have cobble and gravel just kind of spread around within the circle, randomly placed. I've got a little bit of a teaser here so I can whet your appetite as to how it's all going to look once done. You can see it has a very nice effect. They all go to well together very nicely. All of the greys just, you know, they complement each other and it ends up looking like an old and broken piece of flooring, which, like I said, it may not sound that great, but once it's done over a large scale, it just makes it look really nice. Now this is coming along very nicely. You can see the sun setting in the background. Thought it was ideal to give you a little progress update. We're about halfway through and now you should really be seeing the effect. I know I've gone on about this for the past couple of cuts, but damn does it look cool. Very happy with how this is turning out. Now I'm just going to crack on and place all the rest of the half slabs, all of the rest of this stone brick down, and we will have ourselves a complete center section so we can get on with this fountain or, you know, the walls that go around. I haven't really decided yet. I'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. Now I'm just trying to find a way to time waste while all of my cobblestone cooks, so I decided to head up to King Happy's base, and boy oh boy does he have the view of the server. And I must admit, the spawn area is looking very good from up here. I'll take a look at it from Joe Hills' place in a second, but from up here, King is going to be very happy with that spawn area, I'm sure. So our central area is now complete. We have got the entire flooring in. So the next thing that we are going to be working on now is just the areas around it. Now I'm trying to think of ways that we could have these pathways flowing in so that they don't look as sort of just placed there. This is where you have to come in. They should have a pathway coming down. And then also I need to work out what we're going to be going here. Now, it's not going to be anything special in terms of anything going here. I don't think we're going to be placing much here. I think the grass looks pretty good as it is. Underneath all of these leaves, we're going to have glowstone, but obviously because of the resources situation we're in at the minute, that's not happening right now. But, yeah, for this edge part, for these pathways, I think what we should do is have like a little half slab stairway going down into the central part so they sort of segregate themselves from the rest of the circle. So I'm going to build up like a little sample to see what it will look like on one of them, and if it does look good, then I guess I'll fill in all the others. In my personal opinion, this looks fairly good as the entry section. You can see that it's not particularly steep, but it's not too gradual. The first one that I did have had 2 half slabs, then a decline, then 2, then decline, and it ended up around about here, which although it gave a nice gradual slope upwards or downwards, I suppose, it just didn't look that good. It intruded far too much on our circle. I think the best part about this build is that we've got a lot of open space. It feels very open, especially with the fact that it's a gradual slope up to the walls, not just like a dead flat wall. It sort of gradually goes upwards, and even with the hills in the background, they all sort of gradually slope upwards, and it gives a very nice effect. So I don't really want to ruin that with loads of intruding pathways, so I thought that this one would work well, and it would appear that it does. So I'm going to do this on the 4 other entrances, and hopefully it looks just as good as this one. Now that our entrance is done, I'm sort of struggling as to what I'm going to do next. The entrances look really good, especially when there's 4 of them. It just sort of completes it all. However, we still need that central point, and I've got no clue what to do. I do sort of think that the idea of a water fountain is nice, and I will throw together a quick design to see what it looks like, but that's the sort of thing that you want to consult with the other HermitCraft members. I don't want to just build like a big old thing in the center here without any sort of conversation between all of us so that we can agree that that is actually a good idea, because someone might come up with something really interesting. For example, the original idea was that we were going to have a totem pole with all of the hermits' faces on there, but then we swiftly discovered that that would be absolutely huge. It would be 8 by 8 as well, so we decided against that, and I don't want to have that kind of situation with the water fountain. However, I'm going to do a quick blueprint and see what it will look like, and yeah, then we'll decide after that. You know what? I think I'm going to be keeping this one for a temporary thing, at least until someone says that they don't like it. This will do. I think it provides a good focal point for the centre of our circular area. It's not too big, it's not too small. I'd say that this works well. However, someone else on the server might disagree or have a better idea, in which case, of course, we will listen to them and we will do whatever they want to, I guess. But this one is looking pretty good for a middle structure, and I think that this really does complete the spawn area. It's looking very good. I'll take a look at it from King Happy's base. That'll be like the quality test, I suppose. So we'll head over there and then we'll take a good look from a distance. Well, King Happy is a very lucky man, because that looks absolutely awesome. It looks like some kind of Roman Colosseum or something like that. I am extremely happy with how that has turned out. Even the sun is setting. This is an extremely romantic scene. In fact, I think I'm getting a little bit tearful here. But yeah, very happy with this project. That looks great. I'm going to take a screenshot of this and send it to the other hermits and see what they think, but I'm sure they're going to be happy with it. So you will have just seen a time lapse of me and a couple of the guys working on the spawn area. I believe we spent around about 2 hours on it. We had a couple of designs in mind, and then we finally cracked on and just started building this nice little area. Now, a couple of structures have gone up since then. We have the animal pens here. I don't know how that's going to go down. I'll have to speak to the chaps, but the idea of this area is the fact that we're going to be having shops and things like that around here. So I'm going to be having my redstone consultancy shop on the strand here somewhere, which is a really nice idea, and I'll get onto that in a little bit, but that's what I'll be having. I know that King Happy wants to do a precious metals exchange, and a couple of the other guys have some really nice ideas for what they want to do, and we're going to have all those shops around the edge of this area, so it's right in the centre of town, and they're very easily accessible from the rest of the hermits, so hopefully we get some good business. You know, it's all about the location of your shop, so hopefully we get a good amount of passing trade there. Now, obviously, a little bit more clearing up has to be done in this area. For example, these torches aren't going to be here. Obviously, all these chests and furnaces are going to be gone. We don't know about this kind of idea. This was Azuma's temporary. What would you think it would look like if we had a canopy going over it? And you know what, I think even though this doesn't look particularly great at the minute, if we expanded it out and it went into the middle and then it was like a big old cross over our centre area, I think it has potential to look good, but we would have to do a lot of work on that kind of area, and we would also have to speak to all the hermits about that, because I can imagine there'd be some form of divide on who thinks it looked good. Others might not think it looks good. I personally quite like the openness of this area and the fact that it feels very free and spacious. I think maybe if we added a giant roof over the top, it might ruin that feeling over there. Now you can see in the distance that Joe Hills has been working on his base. If you do want me to go and take a look at that, then I might do that in a little bit, but now I have a project to be done in the spawn chunks. I want to work on a little temporary iron farm because our server seems to be running a little bit low on resources, and it'll be really nice if we could get an iron farm going. Now, it doesn't have to look that good. I'm probably just going to build it out of cobblestone. It's just going to be in the spawn chunks, which is miles off in that direction. So then we have that always running, and we should get around about a full stack of iron blocks a day, roughly. So that should be plentiful amounts for our server, and it should be enough to share around, I guess. So I'll gather up some resources, and then I'll head into the spawn chunks. So here we are at the official spawn of HermitCraft. We have got the town centre that is way off in the distance in that direction. The reason that we're not actually building in this area is just because a couple of us guys want to build all of the industrial sized farms in here, like the iron trench and the various other things that rely on spawn chunk mechanics that allow it to be constantly loaded, because then we can get tons of resources and it will all be great. So we want to be using that area for the industrial stuff, and also because it's not really that pretty. It's not very inspiring here. I mean, we've got a couple of large mountains in the background, but that's about it, really. I personally prefer the area that we're at in the town centre. But anyway, I have got pretty much all the resources that I need to build this, enough wood to make a couple of doors. The only issue is we don't have any villagers, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Now, because we're not concentrating at all on looks on this, no one ever comes to this area, but the most important thing is it's the spawn chunks. They're always loaded, so this will always be running whatever happens. I'm not concentrating on making it look good. I've got it on the ground level. You can see that I've utilised the floor here because that would have used up 400 cobblestone, which is quite a lot. And then these walls, you know, they're made out of cobblestone. It's just going to be a flat wall. It's not going to be the prettiest looking iron farm in the world, but it's certainly going to function, and I guess that's the most important thing. This has been an eventful build already. I got it wrong the first time. That's one thing that happened, which is really frustrating. And I've been blown up by a creeper, not once, but twice. The second time it killed me, lost all my levels. Sometimes I just stress out, I guess. But other than that, this project is coming along well. We should have all of this done by the end of this episode. Hopefully the villagers play game, and then we will actually be able to get this complete. So we'll have plentiful supplies of iron. So the main structure of our iron farm is almost done now. We've completed most of it. All we have to do now is the outhouses for the villagers. We've got the floor in the middle, the 16 by 16 area, and we also have to gather up our villagers, which is probably going to be the hardest part, but this has been really odd. I seem to remember this taking absolutely ages in my single player survival world, but it seems to be travelling by quite quickly on HermitCraft, which I'm not complaining about. And it turns out that I built it right the first time. Now this is just getting so ridiculous now. I've rebuilt this thing about 4 times, and every time I've done it wrong. So hopefully this time we can get it right. If not, I'm going to be seriously pissed off. So finally, after many rebuilds, I have managed to do the top part. We just have to do the walls around the edge and then the middle flowing water, and that will be the whole structure done. And that means that we can start putting in our villages. Now, I just want to say that we are playing on the snapshot, and in my personal opinion, this whole social zombies thing is a little bit overpowered. I haven't punched any of them, but I swear they track me from a mile off and they seem to call their friends over. So I have got absolutely tons of zombies following me. Look, you can see those guys are on their way over here. You can see clearly there, that was proof that they know that I'm here and they're all out to get me. And that's no fun, is it? Now our entire golem spawning area is complete, which is a great feeling because it did take a lot longer than I expected, considering the fact that I got it wrong 3 or 4 times. But as I've said many times now, we have to do the little outlets for the villagers, but I can see a close end to this project, which is a lovely feeling because when you do spend a little bit of time on a project, you can't wait to reap in the rewards, and hopefully the rewards will be a bunch of iron. Now I just thought I'd give a quick little update. We have run out of cobble. I've got a tiny bit left, but it's nowhere near enough to complete another one of the villager cells. We have got 3 of them in place, so I've obviously got 1 more to build, and then we can gather them up. But in all honesty, it's not looking as bad as I was expecting. I mean, sure, it's not going to win any awards for looking good. It's definitely not brilliant looking, but for a cobblestone mess, it's not too bad. So I had no luck on finding a village on my own. However, a couple of server members said that there is one in this direction from actual spawn area. So I'm going to have to push him all the way over here, then into this portal, then over to actual spawn, and then put him into the iron farm. And I'm also going to have to breed him a couple of times, and this is just going to be the most lengthy procedure ever. But hopefully it's worth it. This is taking an extremely long time. The guy just keeps wandering off. We've only gone this far away and it's taken about 5 minutes so far. It's just such a slow procedure. This is very frustrating. We're almost back at the spawn village. This has been taking forever, and he's about to go into a water stream. That means he'll never come out. Oh god. We are almost there. We are pushing a villager in through the nether portal here. That has taken the best part of an hour, I think it's safe to say. But he's in the nether. That means that he is safe. Now I'm going to go pick up another one. I have a couple of them pushed into the spawn area. Hopefully we can use our iron farm as a villager breeder so we can get plenty of them in there. So we have managed to get ourselves a villager within the Iron Golem farm. Now he's not in the correct place. He's nowhere near where the spawning cells are meant to be. But first of all, we need to breed this guy. We can't just run an Iron Golem farm on our own, and that is just going to be really tough. It means that we're going to have to bring over a couple more villagers. Luckily, King Happy is going to come in and help me out on this one because I'm having a bit of a tough time on my own here. But anyway, I'm going to close that up so no zombies can get in. Well, can't speak today. And then I'm going to replace this door because I had to take that out. It's been such a kerfuffle getting him over here. Oh, geez, this is going to take ages. So I just hopped back onto the HermitCraft server to see how my villagers were doing. Last time I checked we had 13 of them, and I opened it up and it would appear that a zombie villager or a zombie got in and infected the whole crowd, which has really put a massive downer on this episode. I'm actually quite frustrated by it. I don't know how they got in, however there were a bunch of pillars around this thing, so maybe it wasn't lit up enough. One of them spawned on top of the pillar and then hopped into the little water area and then gradually floated down to the villagers. I don't know what happened. I don't want to point the fingers or anything like that because there'd be no point in that. That would be childish. But I'm just quite disappointed that we now do not have a functional iron farm. I'm going to have to go out and find some zombie villagers, get them into the pens, cure them, and spend a lot more time and effort on making this work. We were so close. We had 13 of them, just a couple more, and then we would have been good to go. And we could have had a working iron farm, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to do that in today's episode. I am up to the brim with time. I've spaced this episode out over the week so I could also get my college work done, and I think I've done a pretty good job. We got a decent amount of progress done in the episode. In fact, I think I'm going to go on a little mini server tour to end it off, just to showcase what's been going on in the week in other people's projects as well as mine. So I'm going to head back into the spawn town, and I'll catch you in a bit. Now, I think it's safe to say that our spawn area is taking shape. Obviously, we've got this giant structure here, which I showed me building in the beginning. This has turned out very nice. It's looking very open and good. And then we have a couple of structures popping out as well. So you can see that we have the animal pens there. We've got a tree farm that's going to be going up there. That's looking very cool. That's a nice design there. And then obviously we have the houses in the distance. Spoon's almighty structure. Who knows what he is doing there, but it's looking very grand. I think he's designing a church or something like that, but that is looking huge, so that's quite cool. Just Aston's farms, and then we have someone who has been spooned over there. They got completely meloned, and now this is one of the coolest houses in the place. Hopefully he doesn't mind me showing this, but it's Schism's place, and he's really used the hardened clay very nicely here. He's using it in a very modern way, and it looks really good. I'd never actually thought to use it, especially these colours, but this looks really cool. I'm very happy with how this has turned out. Like, for him, it looks great. So I think this is an awesome addition to Spawn. It's probably one of my favourite buildings here right now, just because it works very well. It's quite simple, modern looking. I like it. And then we have a big old, it looks like it's going to be a temple at some point over there, so that should be a cool structure to have around here as well. Basically, it's all taking shape. We're finally getting some structures in. If you remember from the start of the episode, there wasn't a whole lot going on. Well, thankfully, I think I might have helped out by putting down the first sort of permanent structure in the middle, and then that will motivate people to build, and I guess that has worked and done the job. But unfortunately, that is all I've got time for today. I've run out of my recording time. I've gone right up to the line. So if you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.